Hey folks, today I'm going to be doing a review for 21st Century Smoke. I kind of owe 21st Century Smoke a debt of gratitude. However, that's not going to curb my opinion on these products I'm about to review. And the reason that I owe them a debt of gratitude is because I actually quit with 21st Century Smoke. And yes, it's that stuff that you buy at the gas station. However, it is quality product and their customer service is very much above the norm.
Three, two, one.
When I was quitting, I actually had some V2 electronic cigarettes. I had some problems with those. Okay, and then I had went to 21st Century Smoke, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to quit with them, but I wanted to give it a shot. The stuff was cheap. It was right there in front of me at the gas station. Okay, so I bought one of their express kits, and then I decided to buy a second express kit because I liked the product. Okay, so as I was doing that, I actually had one battery that wasn't holding a charge after a little bit of time went by, and I knew I was within the warranty period. However, being bad with receipts, I ended up losing my receipt for the product. Okay, so I contacted their customer service. I told them I didn't have the receipt, but I hadn't bought the product for very long. It'd been about 2.5, 3 months. Okay, and I was wondering if they would be able to help me out anyway. Sure enough, they said, go ahead, send it in, we'll take care of you. Okay, so I sent the product in. Well, while I was waiting for the replacement to come back, I really only had one, so I was pretty much using just that one non-stop. Then, a short time later, before that battery, the replacement battery could come in, the one single one that I was using had started to drop off pretty good because I was just using it incorrectly. The battery, it was taking its toll on the battery. Okay, so I contacted him again and I said, because I've been using just one and I'm having some issues with just this one now. It's like I'm overusing it. Okay, and so they decided, again without a receipt, they decided to go ahead and send me another one out. This time I didn't even have to send the other one back in. Okay, so they pretty much both, the first one came and I still had the other one that was kind of hit and miss. It was just the charge time had diminished probably about 60%. So I pretty much just used those two, the one replacement and the one with about 40% battery power or life left in it. And then when the other one got there, I was golden. So they really saved my butt. They really took good care of me. So I always respected that in them. So I was really thrilled when Jeff, here's my shout out for Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. When Jeff allowed me to do reviews of some more of their product. They just came out with some new juice, and I've got 11 flavors of their juice here, which I'm going to do reviews on soon. Okay, and then also I have today just these little disposables, and he sent me all three of the disposables. Now on the website, they'll only show two of them. They show this one here, which is just regular tobacco, and then they show a menthol tobacco, and this is what you get. To be honest with you, a regular mini, this is a little bit smaller than a regular mini. Okay, it's a little bit smaller than a cigarette as far as the roundness of it goes, but it's super stealthy. This is definitely something that would be good to stick in your glove box or your console of your car, or just have hidden away for a rainy day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how these things vape. I'm going to comment on the flavors of these, and then I'm going to take this one apart so we can see what's inside of there. Now these are soft tips. They're very comfortable. Okay, you can actually, and I don't know if I'll be able to show you this on film, but you can squeeze this thing. So it's nice and comfortable. Okay, they're nice and light, really easy to get around with them. as you guys probably already know, the little cigarette-like ones are definitely more convenient than, you know, something like this or something like this, you know. So here we go. Let me take a puff off of this. As you can see, it has a green light. This one here also had a green light. So what I'm going to do now is bust open this one here, and we're going to see if this one also has a green light. And it does. Okay, this one here, by the way, is Black Label. I didn't see this one on their website. Probably something brand new that they haven't put on there yet, okay? Let's hope, because already my first impression is that it tastes wonderful. Yeah, that tastes a little bit like a regular cigarette. Yeah, and this is actually 20 milligrams of juice, so this will definitely get you by in a pinch. I want to comment on the menthol flavoring first, because I've actually already used all of this, and it got me about half a day to 3/4 of a day worth of vaping. Okay, so it wasn't too bad. As far as the size of it, though, you can't expect a whole lot of battery life out of this. I did run the battery life out before the liquid dried up, so it might be a little bit better if it had another, you know, 50 milliamp hours or something like that. I don't know. It's so hard to tell. You never know when it will dry out, you know. So the taste on this one, though, the taste was kind of like a menthol. However, I do have to say that it was a little bit like, it kind of reminded me of Vicks Vapor Rub, but it wasn't like overbearingly gross or anything like that. It was just something that was kind of a surprise. I can't really say that it was a pleasant surprise. As far as like 1 through 10, how did I like the flavor of the menthol disposable from 21st Century Smoke? I'm going to have to give this one probably a 5 to a 6, okay? It wasn't gross, and so it wasn't below a 5. It can't be unless you just dislike it, you know. It's somewhere right there in the average. Now this regular, it reminds me of a real cigarette. I'm going to say that. It doesn't really seem to have too big of a kick. But it is pleasant. As far as flavor goes, I am going to rate this one at probably about a 6 to a 7. Okay, so that's that one. That's a little bit more pleasurable to me than the menthol flavor was. So let's go ahead and move a Black Label. You know, the looks of it kind of gives it away, right? I mean, all the tips on these are dark. They are all actually textured as if they were ash. Okay, but the dead giveaway obviously is going to be that bright green light. All right. Oh, I really like that one. That one's really nice. Okay, as far as the flavor goes on the Black Label, I am going to give this one in between 8 and a 9. Okay, now always keep in mind that taste is subjective, so what I like doesn't necessarily mean that it's something that you like. Okay, so what do these cost? These cost $7.99 a piece. Okay, now for a disposable that wouldn't last you an entire day, like, I mean, I would say that that's a little bit high. However, if this is what it takes to keep you off regular cigarettes, then so be it. I mean, I would rather spend $8 and not buy a pack of cigarettes any day of the week. Okay, that's, to me, that is just, that's an honor. You know, I mean, I'm not gonna go back and buy a pack of cigarettes all day long. I'm gonna spend $8 on something like this. So if you are super dependent on your electronic cigarettes, or you're having a hard time getting off regular cigarettes, and you're worried one day you might leave your electronic cigarette at home, and then you might end up having to buy a pack of cigarettes, hands down, spend the $8, throw one of these in your glove box. You know, I guarantee you, if you never use it, one thing is you're gonna forget about it. But if you do need it, you're gonna be glad you spent the $8 on it. Okay, so that's that. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna see if there's some way that I can take this guy apart, and we can see what's inside of it. There's some kind of like foam here on the front of it, and the foam is just kind of weird. Yeah, it's definitely foam. Some kind of fiber. And it looks like it's probably glued in there. So I'm having a little trouble getting it out. Now, one thing I will say is that it actually did get discolored, and I did taste a little bit of liquid in my mouth. But that was from vaping it pretty much non-stop all the time. And it wasn't ever like a problem to where I had to run to the sink and spit or anything like that. It was just something that I noticed, you know. All right, here's a little plastic bung which is designed to stop the e-juice from going into the fibers. Okay, so, you know, nothing's perfect. That happens on most mini electronic cigarettes that I've ever tried anyway, if not all of them. Okay, so we have some of that fireproof material and some cotton, and that's actually where the e-liquid was soaked in. Alright, and then we have our coil of wire, and I've probably damaged the coil, but oh, it's actually got some silica in it too. Some silica in the coil. Pretty cool. Alright, there's that. And then there is another plastic plug right there. Alright, cool. So here is the light emitting diode, or LED. And here is the battery, 3.7 volts, and it's 90 milliamp hours. So as I suspected, it could have benefited a little bit more from a little bit more milliamp hours. Okay, so, you know, maybe even like 120 to 150 would have been great. But like I said, it'll do the trick for you if you're in a pinch. So this is the actual brains of the operation. What happens when the battery runs dead? It just stops vaping. I mean, right? I mean, it's going to stop vaping. Everybody knows that. But the battery will flash. The light, the LED light on the outside will flash, and that will let you know, hey, your SOL, you should have bought two. Everybody's pretty much comfortable with that in the vaping community. We all know if you got a battery, eventually the battery's going to die, or it's electronic, eventually something's going to fail. So, all right, that's it. That's going to do it for the review on the Disposables from 21st Century Smoke. Again, big thank you to Jeff. Thanks for watching.